Hello everyone, welcome back to this video series on Dynamics 365 customer service. In this episode, we are going to discuss on entitlements in Dynamics 365 customer service. Entitlements define how much support a customer can avail from the company. It is based on the number of support incidents or it can be based on the number of support hours. Okay. For example, if a customer is purchasing a water purifier, in that case, once the customer has purchased, then for the next 1 year, the company will be providing 4 free service visits to that customer. So this is something can be configured with the entitlement. So this is one example. The same way, entitlement can be used in different scenarios. Basically, when we create entitlements, we will be defining the basic informations like the customer name, to whom the entitlement to be considered, and then we will be giving the start date and the end date for that entitlement. And then, if required, we can also link the SLA with this entitlement so that whenever a new case got created and this entitlement is linked with that case, then automatically the link SLA will also be attached to that case record. And then we have different sections within this entitlement where we can specify the entitlement terms and then entitlement channels and then entitlement products. Within entitlement terms, we will be specifying the uh, allocation type, like whether the entitlement is based on the number of cases or based on number of support hours. So that is something we will capture within allocation type. And then we will be defining the total terms, how many uh, terms should be considered for this entitlement, whether we are giving 4 service visits or 12 service visits for next 1 year. So that is something we will be configured within this entitlement terms. And then we have something called entitlement channels. Basically, the customers will be reporting the issue across multiple channels like phone or email or from web or some social media channels. So here within entitlement channels, we will be specifying for each channel how many entitlement terms should be allocated. For example, from email, customer can create 2 support tickets. From phone call, customer can create 2 support tickets. So likewise, we can do the split up for this entitlement terms. Okay, and then we can specify the entitlement products. Customer might purchase multiple products from us. For one product, we will be giving 4 service visits for next 1 year. For another product, we might give only 1 service visit for next 6 months. So that is something based on products also we can define the entitlement. Okay, for any particular entitlement, only one product to be considered, then we will just attach only one product with that entitlement. In case if multiple products can be linked with that entitlement, then we will be adding multiple products against that entitlement. And then here we have different statuses for entitlement. While creating the entitlement will be in draft status, and then once we save that particular thing and once we activate the entitlement, it will be either be set as waiting or active state. So when the start date of this entitlement is in future, then the entitlement status will be changed to waiting. But if the start date of that entitlement is either today or it is in old date, then the status will be immediately turned to active. And then while the particular entitlement is in active state, if we want to cancel that particular entitlement due to some reason, we can click on cancel button to change the status to cancel. And then once the end date has reached, then the particular entitlement will be automatically changed to expired state. And then at the center, I have given you list of comment bar actions that we can do from this entitlement. So as I said, we have this activate button. So when we click on activate button, the status will be either changed to waiting or active. And then if we want to deactivate, we can just click on deactivate button. And there is one more button called default. So as I said earlier, one customer can have multiple entitlements, but we can set one entitlement as a default for that customer. Okay, so for example, there is a customer called Contoso, and for that customer, we have 4 active entitlements. But among those 4, we can set one entitlement as a default entitlement for that particular or selected customer. Okay, and then as I said, there is a cancel button. When I click on the cancel button, the status will be changed to cancel. And we also have one more button to renew the entitlement. So if the entitlement is expired or if we cancel that entitlement and if we again want to reactivate that particular entitlement, then we can click on this renew button so that a new entitlement will be created in draft status with all the field values will be populated from the old entitlement. Okay. So we talked about different sections within entitlement and how to create entitlement, and then different statuses, and then different command bar actions available within entitlement. And then we also have the concept called entitlement templates. So we already know that we have knowledge article templates. So we can create a standard template, and then we can use the same template to create multiple knowledge articles, right? In the same way, we have entitlement templates also. So we can create one standard entitlement template, and then whenever a new entitlement needs to be created, we can just reuse the template, and all the important field values will be populated from that template. We just need to enter only minor information that are specific to that particular customer, and we can save and activate that entitlement quickly. Okay. With this, we will quickly move to the application, and then we will see all those things in action. Now I am in Dynamics 365 Customer Service Admin Center app. To create entitlement, we need to go to Service Terms under Operations. And within that, we need to click on this Manage button near this Entitlements. And from here, we can create new entitlements. So if I click on New, then it will open the new entitlement page. Instead, if I need to use a template, if I need to use entitlement template, then I need to select this from template button. Currently, we don't have any template. For now, I will just go with standard new button to create a entitlement record. For demo purpose, I am naming this entitlement as entitlement 1, and then I will choose the customer as Contours Limited. And then we need to specify the start date and end date for this entitlement. Maybe I will give the start date as October 1, 2024 till September 30, 2025. That is, the entitlement will be active for 1 year. Okay. And then we need to set this flag restrict based on entitlement terms. Okay. In case if we want to stop the user from creating a case or resolving a case, then we need to set this as yes. For now, we will go with no. Okay. And then if we need to link any SLA with this entitlement, we can select the existing SLA record over here. Okay. For the first scenario, we will just go with restrict based on entitlement terms as no and SLA as blank. Okay. And then here we need to give the entity type, whether this entitlement is for case or for work order. Okay. Now we are working on customer service model, so I will select case here, and then allocation type. So here only we need to specify whether the allocation is based on number of cases or based on number of hours. Okay. So number of cases is like whenever a new case got created or whenever a case got resolved, then this will be considered within this entitlement. In case if we choose number of hours, then within case, we will be creating multiple activities, right? And for each activity, we will be setting the duration. Okay. So that will be considered while decreasing the terms for this entitlement. Okay. But for now, we will go with number of cases, and then decrease remaining based on case resolution or case creation. So this is something we can choose whether we need to restrict the user while case creation or case resolution. For now, I will select case creation, and then I will give the total terms as 2, and then I will save this entitlement. Once I save this record, then I will be seeing some additional sections like entitlement channels and then products and contacts. Within entitlement channel, I can set up out of these two how many terms can be allocated to phone call and how many terms can be allocated to cases created from email. Okay, so that is something we can create within this section. Maybe phone call, I will give 1, and then email, I will give 1. So out of these two, I'm giving one term for email and one for phone call. If customer sends an email and first, and then we will be creating one case record. And again, if the same customer sends email, then at that time the case cannot be created for that customer. Okay. And then here we have the products tab. If we need to link this entitlement with any particular products, then we can add the products here. But if we didn't add any product here, then all the products will be considered. And similarly, we have this contacts tab, right? So each customer will have multiple contact person. If we want to restrict the case creation by certain contact person, then we need to add their names. Maybe within Contoso Limited, there can be 5 contacts. Out of those 5, we can restrict only 2 people to create a case. Other 3 people should not be able to create the case. So that is something we can configure over here. Okay, but for demo purpose, we are not adding any product or contact. We will just go with blank so that all the products and all the contacts will be considered. Okay, so that's all. So with just few values, we can create this entitlement, and currently it is in draft. To make it active, I need to click on this activate button. And as you can see, the start date is already over. So that is 1st of October, and today's date is 14th of October. So when I click on activate, then immediately the status will be changed to active. But in case if the start date is in any future date, then the status will be set to waiting. Okay, now my entitlement is ready and it is in active. And if required, I can set this particular entitlement as a default for this Contoso customer. Okay, so for that I need to click on set as default button. And here you can see the is default flag is currently no. Once I click on this set as default button and confirm this, the flag will be ticked. Now this is the default entitlement for Contoso customer. And whenever a new case got created for Contoso customer, then this entitlement will be automatically linked. Now I am in customer service workspace app. From here, I will create a case for Contoso customer and we will see how the entitlement works. So this is Contoso account record, and currently we don't have any active cases for this account. And you can see in our entitlement that I mentioned, the total terms as 2. Out of that, one for email and the other one for phone call. Now we will try the phone call scenario. For that, I will set the origin as phone. Save and close. Okay, now a new case record got created for Contoso with source as phone call. Now I will come back to entitlement, and here if I refresh, you can see the remaining terms is now changed to 1. And here for phone call also you can see the remaining is reduced to 0, but the remaining terms for email is still 1. Now if I try to create one more case for Contoso with origin as phone, the system is allowing me to create. The reason is I have set the restrict based on entitlement terms flag as 0. Because of this, it allows me to create a case record, but the remaining will be changed to -1. You can see for phone call, the remaining is changed to -1. Now what I will do, right, I will deactivate this entitlement. And here we will make it as yes. We will increase the total terms. For phone call also, I now increased the total terms to 3, or maybe I will set it as 2. Okay, so if I set it as 2, then remaining is, so we should go with 3 only. If I set it as 3, then I have the remaining phone call term as 1. Okay, now I will activate this entitlement. I will set this as default. So default flag is enabled. Now I will create another case with source as phone call. This time it will allow the creation. Now the terms is reduced to 0. Now again I am giving phone call as a source, and if you see already the remaining terms for phone is 0. And this time the system is not allowing me to create this entitlement. The reason is I have enabled this flag restrict based on entitlement terms. So this is something you can configure based on your business requirement. If you want to restrict the user from creating, then you need to enable this flag. If you don't want to restrict, and you can track the count as -1, -2, -3, then you can just disable this flag, and you can activate your entitlement. For this demo, I explained with the concept of creating a case via a phone call, that is setting the source or origin column as phone. In the same way, you can try for email as well. And for this particular entitlement, I have added the entitlement channels. That is for email and phone, I have set the total terms. So that's why the channel level entitlement is enabled for this entitlement. But in case if you don't want to have channel level terms, you just need to capture the overall terms, then you don't have to add any entitlement channel. Only you just need to set up the total, you need to give the total terms value. Then no matter whether the case got created from phone call or from email or from social media channels, everything will be considered in a single thing. Okay. And another thing is linking SLA with entitlement. Currently, for this entitlement, the SLA column is blank, which means whenever a new case got created, the SLA will not be linked unless a default SLA is there for this environment. Okay. And if I go to the account, and these are all the 3 cases that got created. If I open a case record, you can see the SLA is not running for this case. The reason is I don't have any existing default SLA available for this system, as well as I didn't link the SLA within entitlement. And if you are really new to the concept of SLA, I will give you a link to my YouTube channel where you can understand the concept of SLA in detail. Okay, now coming back to entitlement. So I will just come back to my entitlement, and I will try to add the SLA over here. Okay, for this I will deactivate it. I already created one SLA for entitlement purpose. So I will link that SLA. But if you want to understand the complete SLA concept, you can refer that video. Okay. Now I link the SLA here. Again, I will activate it, and I will set this entitlement as default. Now I will create a new case. I will go to the account page from here, and origin. Since phone call is already 0, I will give the origin as email. Here you can see the difference. So if you see the case 3, SLA is not running and no SLA is attached to this case. But after adding the SLA within entitlement, now you can see the SLA timers are running and the SLA is now attached with this case record. So this is how you can use entitlements and SLAs together. Okay. I hope you understood the creation of SLA and entitlements. Now, I already told you, right? The entitlements can be created from blank or it can be created from template. So to create from template, we need to click on this uh, from template button. But before that, we need to have the entitlement templates ready in our system, right? So that is something we can create from service terms. Under entitlements, we have this entitlement templates. This is the place where you can create your entitlement templates. So if you open this page, also looks similar to the entitlement page, but here some limited informations only will be there, and other informations we need to give while creating the entitlement. Okay, so you can try this scenario as well. So maybe I will just template. You can give start date, end date, and you can also fill other information over here. And then you can save this entitlement template, and now you can go to your templates. Sorry, you can go to your entitlement, and from here you can choose the entitlement template. Test entitlement template. So this is something I created just now, and it is now available here. And all the values that I already entered in the template will be populated over here. The total terms I have already entered as 10. The same value is now populated in my entitlement record also. Okay. And then we have some settings for our service terms. So you can see our we have some settings for our entitlement. So SLA settings already we covered in the previous video. But here we will cover the settings that are available for entitlement. For that, again, I need to come to service terms. And if I scroll down, I can see this other settings. From here, you can see there are two setting options available for entitlement. One is select whether to automatically apply the default customer entitlement when a case is created. And the other one is when a case is updated. If you want to automatically include the entitlement in your case, then you need to enable these two flags. So based on your requirement, if you want to have it on creation or update, based on that you can enable this flag. Maybe you might not want to link the entitlement while creation. Maybe while updation only you need to do, no? Then you just need to disable for creation and you need to enable for update. This is something you can configure within your settings page of entitlement. Okay, and with this we are completing this video, and I hope you understood the complete concept of Dynamics 365 entitlements. Okay, thank you, and I will see you in the next video tutorial.